If you're planning a trip to Greece with the person you love, there is one decision that matters more than your flights, more than your itinerary, more than almost anything else, and that's where you sleep. Because in Greece, the hotel isn't the place the trip happens around. The hotel is the trip. The right one gives you a private terrace over the caldera, a plunge pool just for the two of you, and a sunset you'll still be talking about years from now. The wrong one gives you a gorgeous photo and a 40-minute uphill walk in the heat every single time you want dinner. So today, I'm ranking the 7 best luxury resorts in Greece for couples, counting down from number 7 all the way to my number 1. I'll tell you exactly who each one is for, what you're actually paying for, and the one I'd book in a heartbeat for an anniversary. Stay with me to the end, because somewhere in the middle, I'm going to show you the single most expensive mistake couples make when they book a luxury hotel in Greece. And it has nothing to do with the price. Greece has hundreds of hotels calling themselves luxury. Most of them are genuinely very good. Only a handful are unforgettable. And for a couple, the difference comes down to 4 things. These are the 4 things I scored every property on. First, the room itself, because at this level, you should be spending real time in it, not just sleeping there. A private pool or a proper terrace isn't a splurge in Greece, it's the entire point. Second, the setting, the view, the privacy, and, crucially, how far you are from a good dinner. Third, the service, whether the staff anticipate what you need before you ask, which is the actual luxury you're paying for. And fourth, the feeling. Does the place make you exhale the moment you walk in, or does it make you perform for a camera? Everything on this list scores high, but they're high in completely different ways, and the right one for you depends entirely on the trip you actually want. Let's start the countdown. Number 7. Kavo Tiagu on Mykonos. This is the one your most stylish friend has already posted from. It's carved into the hillside just above Mykonos town, and that famous infinity pool, the one that looks like it's spilling straight into the sea, is every bit as good in person. Here's who this is for. If your idea of a perfect couples trip includes great design, a buzzy scene, world-class cocktails, and being a short walk from the bars and boutiques of Mykonos town, this is your pick. The suites with private plunge pools are the ones to book. The entry-level rooms are lovely, but you're missing the point of the property without your own water. Why it's only number 7 and not higher. Mykonos has energy, and energy is the opposite of seclusion. If what you want is to disappear with your partner and not see another soul, this isn't that hotel. But if you want luxury with a pulse, somewhere you'll actually go out at night, Kavo Tagu earns its spot. Number 6. Mystique in Oia on Santorini. If the picture in your head when you imagine Greece is that whitewashed cliffside cave suite over the caldera dream, this is the polished, grown-up version of it. Mystique sits right on the edge in Oia, which is the most dramatic and most photographed corner of Santorini. The suites are cut into the volcanic rock with private terraces, and at sunset, that view does the kind of thing that makes people go quiet. There's a wine cave built into the cliff that's genuinely special for a couple. Who it's for? The couple who wants the iconic Santorini fantasy and is willing to pay for the calm, refined version rather than the crowded one. A small, honest note. Oia gets busy, and I mean very busy, in peak season. Mystique buys you a private perch above all of it, which is exactly what you're paying for. Book a suite with its own plunge pool, and you may never want to leave the terrace. Number 5. The Grace in Imerovigli. And this is my pick for couples who love Santorini but cannot stand crowds. Imerovigli is the next village over from the chaos of Oia and Fira, perched on the highest point of the caldera, and it is noticeably calmer. The Grace is intimate. It feels more like a private villa than a hotel, and it leans hard into romance without being cheesy. The champagne lounge is a real thing, and it's lovely. The service is the kind where they remember your name and your drink by the second evening. Who it's for? The couple who wants the same jaw-dropping caldera view as Oia, but with quiet and a more personal feel. This is a splurge versus skip moment, so let me be direct. Splurge on the caldera view room with the outdoor space. Skip the cheapest category. On Santorini, the view is the entire product, and a room without it is a missed opportunity at this price. Now, before I get to the top four, this is the mistake I promised you. And it's the single most expensive thing couples get wrong when they book a luxury hotel in Greece. It isn't overspending. It's booking a stunning hotel in the wrong location. Santorini is the classic trap. People see a breathtaking cave suite in Oya, book it instantly, and only realize later that getting to the room means hauling their luggage down 200 cave steps, that there's no road access at all, and that every single dinner is a steep climb back up in the heat. Or they book somewhere that photographs beautifully, but turns out to be a 30-minute taxi from anywhere worth eating. At this price, you are not just buying a room, you are buying a location. So before you book anything, check three things. 1. How do you physically get to the room with your bags? 2. How far is the nearest good dinner, and can you walk it? And 3. In the photos, is that famous view actually from your room? Or is it from the hotel's single best suite that costs 3 times as much? Get those 3 right, and you've avoided the regret that quietly ruins more luxury trips to Greece than any other. Okay, back to the countdown. The top 4 is where this gets really good. Number 4 takes us off the islands entirely, to the Mandarin Oriental at Costa Navarino, on the southwest coast of the Peloponnese, on the Greek mainland. And if you've never considered the mainland for a luxury trip, this is your sign to. Here's the trade you're making. You give up the postcard white caldera, and in return, you get space, serenity, and almost no crowds. The villas are strung along the hillside in olive groves above the bay, most with their own private pools, and the design is understated and modern in the best way. The spa is a destination in itself. Who it's for? The couple who wants to truly slow down, who'd rather have a private pool, a long lunch, and zero agenda than a packed itinerary. It also pairs beautifully with a day or two of culture, since you're near some of the most important ancient sites in Greece. If your last few vacations felt rushed, this is the antidote. This is the no-regrets choice for couples who define luxury as the absence of stress. Number 3. Bill and Ku, also on Mykonos. And I'm putting it 3 full spots above Kavo Tagu on purpose, because it answers a question a lot of couples have. Can you do Mykonos without the madness? Yes. This is how. Bill and Ku is adults only, intimate, and set just above Magali Amos Beach. Close enough to town when you want it, far enough to feel like a private hideaway when you don't. It's small, the service is exceptional, and the restaurant is one of the best hotel dining rooms in the country, the kind of meal that becomes a core memory of the trip. Who it's for? The couple who's curious about Mykonos glamour, but absolutely does not want a party hotel. You get the island's energy on your terms. A great night out is a taxi away. And then you retreat somewhere calm, romantic, and adult. That balance is rare. And it's why this sits in my top 3. Number 2. Cannavas Oya on Santorini. And this is the property I'd point to if someone said, "Show me Santorini service done at the highest possible level." Cannavas isn't one building. It's a small collection of properties in and around Oya, which matters, because it means you can choose your experience. Want to be right in the heart of Oya on the caldera edge? They have that. Want more seclusion and privacy with your own villa pool, away from the foot traffic? Their epitome property, set slightly inland, is one of the most quietly luxurious places to stay on the whole island, and it solves that location mistake I warned you about earlier. The reason it's number 2 and not number 7, like the other Santorini hotels lower on this list, comes down to one thing: consistency. The service here is relentless in the best way. Anticipatory, warm, and genuinely personal. Who it's for? The couple who wants the Santorini dream but refuses to compromise on how they're treated. Splurge on a villa with a private pool. On this island, your own water and your own view is the difference between a great trip and an unforgettable one. And my number 1, the resort I would book in a heartbeat for an anniversary, a honeymoon, or any trip that actually matters, is Amanzoe, on the Peloponnese coast near Porto Heli. Amanzoe is an Aman, and if you know that name, you already know what it means. It's a modern hilltop acropolis, freestanding pavilions and villas, almost everyone with its own private pool, all looking out over olive groves to the Aegean. There's a flagship Aman spa, several restaurants, and a private beach club a few minutes below. But the real reason it's number one isn't the architecture or the pools. It's the service, which is, quite simply, the best in Greece. A man's whole philosophy is anticipation. The trip arranges itself around you without you ever having to ask. For a busy couple whose entire goal is to stop making decisions for a week, that is the most valuable thing money can buy here. Let me be honest about the trade-offs, because that's the whole point of this channel. Amanzoe is not on a famous island, so you won't get the whitewashed Santorini photo. It's a drive, or a quick helicopter sent from Athens. And it is the most expensive property on this list. But if your question is, where do we go so that we come home with zero regrets? This is my answer. It's the definition of worth it. And one quick bonus, because part of doing this well is telling you what's coming, not just what exists. On Crete, the long-loved Blue Palace in Alunda is reopening as a rosewood, with a major redesign and a big share of the rooms getting private pools. If you're planning a Greek trip for later in 2026, and you want Crete, gorgeous beaches, incredible food, and a slower pace than the Cyclades, this is the one I'd keep my eye on. Confirm the opening date and rates before you build a trip around it. But as a couple's splurge on Crete, it's the most exciting new arrival in Greece right now. So there's the ranking. Quick recap. Number 7, Kavo Tagu, for stylish energy on Mykonos. 6, Mystique, for the iconic Santorini fantasy. 5, The Grace, for Santorini without the crowds. 4, Mandarin Oriental Costa Navarino, for true mainland serenity. 3, Bill and Coo, for Mykonos done quietly and grown up. 2, Kanavas Oya, for Santorini service at the highest level. And number 1, Amanzoe, the no-regret splurge. Remember the real lesson here. At this level, you're not just choosing a hotel, you're choosing a location and a feeling. So check how you get there, how close dinner is, and whether that view is really yours. Every hotel I mentioned is linked in the description, in order, so you can compare them yourself. If this helped you narrow things down, do me a favor and subscribe. I make one of these every week for busy couples who want the right options, not more options. And tell me in the comments, which of these would you book? I'll see you in the next one.